A Marine Expeditionary Unit, or MEU, is a rapid response strike force of 2,200 Marines. They patrol the world's oceans aboard 3 Navy ships, ready to go on a moment's notice. When a MEU gets orders to hit an objective, they need to move troops and battle gear into the fight as quickly as possible. In many of the world's remote locations, amphibious landing is the only way to go. It's a mission-critical skill, and we're about to see how they do it. On board the Bonhomme Richard, the Marines prepare to launch an amphibious training raid on a mock enemy base. They'll ride ashore on the Navy's massive hovercraft. Its full name is Landing Craft Air Cushion, but the Marines just call it the LCAC. This craft can get Marines off the ship and into the fight fast.
You can hit a beach, you can put a lot of vehicles, a lot of troops on that beach really quickly and get out of the way for the next landing. My job in a nutshell is to go from point A to point B without hitting anything and being on time.
The massive LCAC is 87 feet long and 47 feet wide. Big enough to carry a 70-ton M1A2 main battle tank, 10 armored Humvees, or 180 troops. 4 gas turbine engines power this beast with a sustained 16,000 horsepower.
This is one of 4 TF40 Bravo engines on board, each one approximately 4,000 horsepower.
Under the inflatable rubber skirt, 4 giant fans lift the LCAC 7 feet above the surface.
This is the propeller. It's 11 feet 9 inches in diameter, rotates at about 1,114 rotations per minute.
The 2 aft propellers push the craft along at speeds over 50 miles per hour. That's more than 4 times faster than traditional landing craft.
You know, you played air hockey, it's kind of like air hockey. The puck is just on the table, moving around.
It's big, fast, and highly maneuverable.
This is a bow thruster. There's one on each side of the craft. And that helps with the forward and reverse motion and turning of the craft, and basically your maneuverability.
The LCAC's greatest strength is its ability to fly over swampland and soft sandy beaches, giving it access to more than 70% of the world's coastline.
So if you're the defender, instead of being able to focus on certain areas, you've got to cover your entire coastline. And that is an enormous advantage.
3 LCACs operate out of the Bonhomme Richard's massive sea-level garage, known as the well deck.
The well deck itself is a really large stowage and operating area for the various amphibious craft that they have there. And they have direct access to the cargo areas of the ship so they can load them up and take them out the back end to go to shore.
During its 20-plus years of service, the amazing LCAC plays a critical role in the MEU mission. January 2005, Western Indonesia. After a devastating earthquake and tsunami hits the region, the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit uses LCACs to reach stricken areas. The LCACs safely navigate the debris-clogged Indonesian coastline, delivering tons of food, water, and medical supplies.
It gives you the ability to move your really heavy stuff into areas that otherwise would simply be inaccessible to a seaborne force.
Back on board the Bonhomme Richard, the 11th MEU landing team boards the LCACs. They're ready to hit the enemy beach. Launch time is just moments away.
A raid is dangerous because we're going in and we're hitting an objective fast and hard.
An amphibious raid is a challenging mission. The next time these guys do this could be in a real war. The Marines do a final weapons check and load into their vehicles to hit the beach. Above the LCACs, the well deck control room team starts the launch sequence.
Control, send it.
Visual snap, port side. Roger. Secondary, except fast, starboard side. Roger, go ahead and clear the deck.
One by one, the LCACs fire up and head out.
Report 265. 210. You are clear to turn port. 2 miles.
The LCAC can travel over 50 miles of ocean, enabling the mothership to safely stage out of sight of the enemy shoreline. The Muse amphibious ability gives them the upper hand against the enemy.
We can strike them from any direction. We can come from behind, in front, the flanks. That they're not safe anywhere.
A MEU aboard an amphibious group sitting 25 miles off a coast can have LCACs making a round trip every hour, and that's fast. That kind of ability to unload really gives you an edge, especially when you're starting to put high mobility assets like LAVs and Humvees, which are going to be fanning out from the beach to go towards their objectives.
Maintain your course. You should have no problem getting past this guy to the port.
The craftmaster, or pilot, literally flies the LCAC across the water.
It'd be like flying a helicopter. With his feet, he controls the rudders. With his left hand, he'll control the propeller pitch, and with his right hand, he's controlling the yoke. When we're moving high speed across the water, things happen a lot quicker, and you need to be able to react to them quickly.
After a fast 30-minute ride, the LCACs hit the landing zone. Now they've got to get 25 vehicles and 150 Marines off the landing craft and ready for a fight. Some Marines come ashore in the Muse amphibious assault vehicle. The AAV-7 can get from the ship to the shore without the help of a landing craft.
It's really crazy driving this thing out the back of the ship. You get tossed and turned around. If you haven't grown up on the water, you might need a trash bag to throw up in. It leaks a little bit, so you'll get wet back there, but that's part of being amphibious.
It's a battle taxi, and it just happens to have the ability to float off a ship, crawl up on the beach, go inland if it needs to.
The AAV-7 weighs in at 40 tons. A 400 horsepower diesel engine gives this vehicle a top land speed of 45 miles per hour.
This area is a troop compartment of the AAV. We refer to it as the dungeon. We can fit 21 combat-loaded Marines.
Nicknamed the Gator, this thing's designed to get Marines into the fight and protect them from enemy fire.
This is a special combat kit that goes on all of our MEU vehicles. It's our EAK armor.
This bolt-on layer of homogeneous steel armor is tough enough to stop 14.5 millimeter anti-tank rounds.
I've been in this vehicle before in Iraq when we were taking fire, and all you hear is the pings. You don't see any holes, so it really does work.
When the enemy is throwing punches, the AAV-7 packs enough turret-mounted firepower to hit back.
This is the Upguns weapon station. We have 2 machine guns here. Our primary weapon is the 40 millimeter grenade launcher.
The Mark 19 grenade launcher can fire over 350 high explosive rounds per minute. The 50 caliber M2 machine gun can take out targets more than a mile away. A massive beach landing is a point of vulnerability for the Marines. Back at the 11th Muse amphibious raid training mission, the Marines converge on the beach. A security team sets up a perimeter to guard against attack.
The way I approach security operations is, if I were the enemy, where would I come from? And from there, I position vehicles to cover those areas.
Without solid logistical support, the entire mission could die right here on the beach. That's where the Muse Landing Force Support Team comes in.
We have the ability to take a beach and make it into an entire base, where they have maintenance facilities, fuel points, MREs, water, basically everything that Marines need to continue the fight inward.
Today's mission is to raid an enemy base located several miles inland. The Marines attack the objective with an assortment of tactical trucks, armored Humvees, and the time-tested LAV-25. LAV is the Marine Corps acronym for Light Armored Vehicle. Weighing in at 14 tons, the LAV relies on a 275 horsepower diesel engine to power the 8x8 drivetrain. On rough terrain, this 8-wheeled vehicle can outrun a tank. On a paved road, it'll do better than 60 miles per hour. The LAV can cross water at a respectable 6 knots. For firepower, the LAV packs a 25mm Bushmaster cannon that can take out heavy armored targets at long range.
The Marines love LAVs for a lot of reasons. It's fast. It's easy on gas. Doesn't burn a lot of fuel. It's got good mobility across a very wide variety of terrain. You can even carry extra Marines in the back of it if you need to. Good weapon systems aboard.
December 1989. President Bush orders the U.S. invasion of Panama. As Marine Task Force Gator attacks the Panamanian Defense Force headquarters, 4 LAVs lay down fire support for the advancing troops. More than 125mm rounds pound the compound, hitting their targets with pinpoint accuracy. Within hours, the battle is over. The LAVs move in as Marines secure the compound.
The LAV was really kind of an important little vehicle during the invasion of Panama. They were light enough that they could operate in urban terrain, but not so light that they couldn't put up a good fight if they needed to. It was a nice balance.
Back at Camp Pendleton, the amphibious landing exercise is successfully completed. Now the Marines must prepare to launch a surprise raid on an enemy compound. This is their chance to regroup, prep their weapons, and make radio contact with commanders back on the ship.
A lot of places we go, there is no infrastructure, there is no cell phone towers, so we're able to use satellite communications, high-frequency radio communications, and maintain control of a very geographically dispersed area.
Ship-based command relays a bit of bad news. A reconnaissance team reports the enemy is prepping for a fight. It seems the Muse element of surprise is now lost.